centerpiece of the family. And as he is laid, Donnie.
Hoops tournament gets underway. Go to games.nesson.com to play free daily and weekly contests throughout the entire tournament.
We're through 4 at JetBlue Park and on to the 5th inning on a sunny day. Temperatures in the 80s. Kevin Youkilis, Mike Monaco, Jemai Webster, our entire NESN crew with you. And a new pitcher is in for the Sox here in the 5th. Nick Gordon fouls the first pitch back against Zach Kelly. Another non-roster invite to spring training. Very interesting arm as a reliever, and you see what he did in the upper levels of the Red Sox system last season.
Yeah, great job. Opponent's average below 200. I mean, this guy's dominating.
Gordon in the air, right field. Cordero roams toward the line to make the catch, and we go to Jemai.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mike. Here with Bobby Dahlbeck after his afternoon, 3 at-bats. Looks like you're done, Bobby. How'd you feel out there? Life feels like life comes at you fast. Last week you were by yourself. Yep. Now you're back with the team.
I know. It's awesome to be back with the team. I missed everyone a lot. And, yeah, it feels good. First day back. Got some live ABs yesterday and just, trying to keep it rolling, work on my timing, and, just be easy with it.
As every player has their process of preparation, as you look to this truncated spring training, what do you be working on and focusing on as you get ready for opening day?
Just slowing the game down, just because everything is so fast right now. Just trying to be able to slow the game down, every day, especially now. It'll help a lot, I think, rolling up to the season.
First at bat, you went yard. That's a pretty decent result by my book. What did you see there?
It was just a fastball middle up, and that guy has really good stuff. And first slider got me, and I was just thinking fastball after it, and got a piece of it.
So the eyes appear to be in midseason form.
I don't think they're in midseason form yet, but they're getting there, I think. Yeah.
Well, pregame, seen you doing a lot of work defensively. In the infield, Alex Cora says you're going to get some run even in the outfield. How much are you looking forward to showcasing your versatility and adding to it?
I'm super excited to it. It's fun to work on different positions, learn new things, and just, be able to play multiple positions and help the team and, help lineups out. And, I'll play anywhere. I just want to hit,
Yeah. Absolutely. And last year, you had an up and down year. Towards the second half, though, it seems like you found something. Getting through your first full big league season, a lot of times it seems like people forgot about that. How do you hope to build upon what you were able to close last year out with?
It started this offseason. When I hit with Schwarber, he just kind of isolated the things that are actually important to focus on, and I cut out all the things that, don't really breed success. So I just continued that timing, vision, a lot of fastball machine, a lot of off-speed machine, and just trying to refine my timing pretty much. I think that's the biggest, that was the biggest issue for me last year. So I really focused on that this offseason.
As you turn the page now here, looking at 2022, Alex's message during you guys' first team meeting was, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You guys finished just 2 games shy of a World Series last year. As you look around the clubhouse, what's the feeling like that you guys can repeat that effort and get even further?
It feels awesome. Great team. Great team last year, great team this year. But it all comes down to, how we gel as a team and, pulling for each other and, making plays on defense. I think that's a huge thing for us. Just be more consistent on defense this year, and it'll work out. Yeah.
All right, Bobby, thanks for the time, man. Good to have you back. Looking forward to these conversations, I guess, as the season goes on.
Definitely. Thanks for having me. Jemai.
All right, Mike, that's Bobby Dahlbeck. His day is done after 3 at-bats. Going to take it easy until tomorrow.
All right, fellas. Good stuff down there on the field. Anything jump out to you in there?
Well, 2 things. Talking about being easy. Just calming down. Like, that's the big thing with him. And that's the talk. That was what I was referring to with staying tall on the backside and not getting overly excited, getting out there and dropping, the backside too much. And what he said, too, with working with Schwarber, those were some issues that Schwarber had, too, of over-swinging, trying to hit the ball a mile versus hitting it 340 feet. That home run's the same as one that goes 500. You don't get extra points for the ball going too far. So, I think it's really good of him just easing himself and trying to stay within himself as much as possible and allowing him, to use that strength that he has.
He struck me there as really comfortable, just with everything. And I think Jahmai brought up an interesting point that, it can be easy to forget that was his first full season in the big leagues, but he struck me as really comfortable there.
Yeah, and appreciative of the interview. I mean, that said a lot to me about his character. At the end of it too. Not a lot of guys don't say thank you for the interview at the end of it. They think of it. Trust me, it's like, oh, got to do this again. No, but no, he just seems excited. He seems willing to play other positions, which is a huge thing at this level for guys to say, you know what, I'm comfortable trying something else out. And he's right. You try to play anywhere because all that matters is you want to hit. Well, for some people, like myself, I was the same way. I just want to hit.
And again, this is what Jahmai was talking about. In the way Bobby Dahlbeck finished last season on a tear, and really that started at the trade deadline. And Alex Cora has talked about that might have prompted Dahlbeck to pick up his production a bit after, as you said earlier, the first maybe 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, you look at the OPS; it's 400 points, and that comes and a lot of it too. You look at the slugging was up there, but the way you get good slugging is by getting good pitches. You can't just go up there and just drive a ball out of the yard. That's a nice, a hard slider outside or a pitch that's up and away and that's outside of your hot zone. I think what he's done a really good job of is getting good pitches that he wants to hit, early in the count, and if it's not, letting it go. And that's what Schwarber did a really good job of last year, and hopefully he's just passing on great information to Bobby in the offseason to get him going.
Oh, that's a single there from Jose Miranda. Talented farmhand coming up in the Twin system. And through the vacated right side, Gilberto Celestino was able to go first to third after he worked a one-out walk. So the Twins have him at the corners for the 3 spot in the lineup. This is Tim Beckham. Former first overall pick all the way back in 2008 by the Rays.
I remember that pick.
The Tim Beckham.
Yanked on a line and foul. The other thing that I thought hearing from Bobby Dahlbeck really stood out was just how much he took from Kyle Schwarber. And that was well documented, especially down the stretch last year. But the impact that Kyle Schwarber had, not just with his own production, but offensively and sort of the culture of hitting that seeped out from him.
Yeah, it's definitely a great thing when you have veterans that that also went through struggles. I mean, Kyle had success and winning the World Series and then he had some struggles. And how did he get out of those struggles? He worked on it. He figured out what was not working for him and how to implement new thought process, new way of going about it. And that is crucial for young players. Is you don't need to mold yourself into being that player. You take snippets of what they're saying and how it applies to how you do it. That's the key to a young player, is staying within who you are, sticking with your strengths. Sometimes you try to mold yourself out after a really good player and you get into bad habits because you're trying to be them versus understanding what kind of information they're giving to you and applying it with what you do well.
Fouled off again by Beckham against Kelly. Bobby said timing a big focus to that point. Alex Cora was talking this morning about how he was more aggressive down the stretch early in counts and used the pull side a lot more to naturally, as we saw earlier, where a ton of his power is. I mean, he's got power everywhere. But
yeah, and that's the beauty. Well, it's also just getting the ball out in front too. When you start driving the ball out of left, you're clicking it out in front. That's the key to hitting, is when you're driving balls, you're not letting them get too deep. You don't want to be too far out in front with a bad swing and it's a rollover, but it's that progression of figuring out how to get your hands to the ball and through it, but it's out in front of you. It's hard sometimes And it's funny, I'm going through it with 9-year-olds right now and 7-year-olds and stuff like that. I'm trying to teach it. And at their level, at the major league, it's a lot easier to talk to a guy about. At a young level, it's a little harder. But it's a natural progression that guys, when they start learning and feeling that little click out in front, it turns into a lot more power to pull. And not trying to pull. That's the key, is being able to get your barrel to the ball while keeping a nice, smooth swing.
I don't know.
Well, Dahlbeck started the scoring in this one back in the first, part of a 4-run inning for the Sox. Twins got their lone run in the third. Runners at the corners here in the fifth with 1 out. Kelly's 2-2. Beckham in the air to right. Arrow trying to locate it.
Ooh.
Foul.
Man, that was about 2 feet away from tying up for the Chairman's Cup. It's a big game. I don't know if people really understand how big this rivalry is in spring training and what's at stake.
You were here at 9 a.m.
I'm telling you right now, I mean, this is a big deal. What, 7 games?
You said
7 games? Yeah, like
It's for the Cup.
it's for the Cup. Tom McLaughlin, he knows all about the Cup. Tommy Mack, he was the original Cup guy. I think he was the one that originally got the Cup.
Treasure.
Yes. I think we super glued it together back in the day too.
2-2.
Good pitch. It's low. Wow. Hey, umpires in spring training too. It's all right.
The fine folks at Sox Prospects, they've got the book on Kelly. Mid-90s, changeup misses a ton of bats, and then it's a slider / cutter. He's calling it a hybrid.
A slugger.
In the arsenal for Kelly.
Got a new one. I like it.
He's got a full count here against Beckham.
I thought that slider he threw on the front door was a strike, but might have been a little down or in. Let's see if you can repeat that one.
20 pitches deep into this fifth inning.
He's going back to it here.
3-2.
There it is.
He is, and he gets a pop-up. Right side of the diamond. Sanchez. Out number 2.
Yeah, it's the backup one right there. It's not fun as a hitter. You're like, oh, wait. And then it just gets a little too deep, and the bat just drags too much. Yeah. Those front door breaking, like that front door slider is so tough. And look, he's trying to feel for it because you're like, oh, wait. And next thing you know, you're getting jammed and hitting soft little fly balls to the right side of the infield.
Another guy who was an undrafted free agent, Zach Kelly. He's 27 years old. Been released a couple of times. He's had success at the upper levels of the Sox system. He starts out with a fastball dotted for strike 1 to Curtis Terry, batting for the first time today.
Those are beauties right there. Trying to go had the fastball in, misses the glove side. Beautiful first pitch on the outside corner.
Come back with that.
Yeah, it just looks like his slider, he's just not getting a great feel for it today. He's just spinning a little bit, not getting that bite on it at times. So, that's the beauty of spring training, right? You want to have that happen so you can go back to, the bullpen and get on, get all the information. The pitchers, they have so much information now in analytics, and I think it's such a good thing, too, because they're in control. It's interesting when you look at pitching, you're on defense, but you're not. You're actually on offense. The hitter's on defense. They're reacting. Because in every other sport, the person on offense has the ball in their hand to start the play.
So philosophically, just being on the attack as a pitcher.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because that's where a lot of this information and a lot of the analytics and all these different things that came about with figuring out spin rate and all that. It's a lot easier when a pitcher is in command of what they can do. As a hitter, you don't know if you're getting a slider, a fastball, a changeup, where the pitch is. So you're reacting a lot, and you're having to move in different. You have to move in different, body patterns to get to get to a pitch that's outside, or you're out in front a little bit on a slider, and that swing's different than a fastball down the middle.
And Kelly's trying to lead 2 here in the 5th inning. A walk and a single. Twins with him at the corners. Pitch number 26 from Zach Kelly. Is bounced right side. Sanchez ranges left, and the former Gold Glover throws out Terry. And Kelly strands 2 in the top of the 5th inning here in Fort Myers.